We're Mike and Betsy. Over the past year, we quit our jobs, sold everything, and bought a sailboat to explore the world with our 15-year-old daughter, Ellie. We're Star Wars fans, so we named our new floating home Rogue Fun. At the end of our last episode, we finally closed on our boat and headed down to Charleston to move aboard. All right.
Cabin lights. Saloon light.
Here we are. Oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. We spent a few days going through much of what was already on board, and then started moving in our own things. The process of moving in and finding space for everything was a bit overwhelming. We went back to my sister's house to get another van load, do a few tasks, and pick up Ellie. We had gotten Ellie's cabin set up so it was all ready for her to move in. We were excited to spend Christmas aboard, even though it was forecasted to get down into the teens at night. Our first week aboard was very cold, especially after our diesel heater stopped working. Luckily, we could connect space heaters to the shore power in the Marina, so we stayed warm enough.
It's a Christmas tree thing.
A little Christmas tree craft. So we'll have a little Christmas tree in our boat. Turn it on. And of course, the first movie we watched had to be Rogue One. We tested out our galley with our traditional Christmas breakfast, Eggs Benedict. And then for dinner, we enjoyed the leftover hollandaise sauce over sautéed asparagus, scalloped potatoes, and ham. Between our diesel heater not working and our frequent outdoor time, Christmas in South Carolina felt just about as chilly as Christmas in Wisconsin.
Well, here we are on our fourth or fifth day on Rogue Fun. This is Bohicket Marina and Market. Right now the tide is going out. Get a really good, this is a creek, so the water flows out normally that way. Now with the tide going out, it clips along pretty good. You can see the barnacles there up on the post. So it's gone down that much, but it's still got a couple hours left before low tide. There's quite a range here, about 6 feet or more, depending on the day. But this is the start of our boating life. I like it so far.
Our boat even came with a little outdoor grill, and once it warmed up enough, we were able to even enjoy some meals on deck. We got Ellie a collapsible scooter for Christmas, and she enjoyed scooting around the marina. It made our walks back and forth to the bathrooms and laundry a little bit more fun. We got to see all kinds of weather. The temperatures warmed up during the days, but it was still chilly enough at night to need space heaters. The drastic changes in temperature made for a lot of condensation inside the cabin.
Fog has started to roll in. Really cool. It's just disappearing.
And I found out that my hair gets a little bit crazy with the southern humidity. One of the biggest tasks was figuring out the different systems on the boat. This is the electrical control panel. It controls the 12-volt DC power from our sailboat's house batteries, And we can also use 220 volt AC power when we're able to be connected to shore power. Rogue Fun is a European boat, so it doesn't have 110 volt AC electricity like houses in the United States. In order to connect to US shore power, we need to have a converter that steps up the shore power to 220 volt. We have learned many lessons about the difference between US and European systems. In addition, many of the labels are in French, and the boat was initially owned by Germans, so Google Translate has really come in handy. It took us a while to figure out that this switch labeled gas fringe shelter is actually a remote gas switch for our propane stove. We also completed a lot of tasks to help with organization, my favorite. Mike installed a spice rack and a knife rack, and these compression cubes helped get our clothes organized and accessible with very little storage. So today we took the boat out. Hopefully we won't end up like that one.
We left the dock!
Yes, it was quite the harrowing experience.
It wasn't harrowing, we're just not used to it.
It made me nervous. So it's pretty marshy, we have to pay attention to all the tides and everything. But we did it. We took a leap and did it. Our plans were to leave the marina and head south at the end of January, so we made one last trip to Wisconsin to visit family. Then we headed to Delaware to see the newlyweds, our son CJ and his wife Elise. So we're in Delaware right now. We have spent a couple days on the boat and then had to take a little side trip to Wisconsin to go see Mike's parents. And we just arrived back in Delaware last night about 1 o'clock in the morning so that we can see CJ and Elise, and also our documents happen to be delivered to Walgreens, so we're about to get those and open those, and we're crossing our fingers that everything is there. So we got it. We had a great few days with CJ and Elise. We went to the Amish market and had a delicious breakfast. It was hard to choose. After breakfast, we stopped in at Spence's Bazaar. I think we were all expecting Amish goods for sale, but it ended up being more like a flea market, or the biggest rummage sale ever. What did you find?
It's switched on box. It's electronic performances.
That looks strange.
No.
Before we knew it, we were back at Bohicket Marina with our last load from my sister's house. The weather had definitely improved since we had left the week before, and Bohicket was starting to feel like home. Home again, home again. Almost home again, almost. The propane oven on our boat has taken some getting used to. You can't set the oven to a specific temperature. We have a hanging thermometer inside so we know what the current temperature is. It pretty much just keeps heating up. So we put our food in and hope for the best. We do monitor it every few minutes, and we've been lucky so far. Being back home on the boat means that when the sun goes down, we stop whatever we're doing and appreciate the beauty of God's creation. Being back home on the boat also means back to boat projects. One of the next big things on our list was taking an inventory of tools. Mike said it felt like Christmas all over again. As Mike went through everything, I logged it all on the computer so we could reference it as needed. We're pretty lucky that all the previous owners were so meticulous and prepared. We found all sorts of spares, as well as wonderful tools we didn't even know we needed. It's crazy that all those tools store neatly in this little settee. We're so thankful for hidden storage all over the boat. After my morning walk to the Marina bathroom, this song was playing. Perfect. I'm just walking back from going to the bathroom this morning. We have a holding tank aboard, so we try not to use it. Otherwise we have to pump it out each time. If we need to go to the bathroom, we take a walk, sometimes together, up to the main Marina house, which is all the way, I don't know if you can see it, but it's way over there. So this walkway goes all the way around that red roof building right there. Makes me think of when I used to have to go way up to the office to make copies from my classroom, and the amount of steps that I would get in each day just because it was so far from the office. A typical day on the boat usually goes something like this. I make my coffee first thing. I found that no matter what I'm doing, there's a whole lot of having to move things around so you can get into a fridge or a cabinet. I've learned that there's no sense in rushing, and have accepted that on a boat, things will simply just take longer. I love having my coffee up in the cockpit, no matter what kind of weather we're having. After coffee, it's usually a morning trip up to the Marina bathroom, and maybe sneaking in a quick boat task every now and then. Since it's raining, might as well scrub the decks. We take care of Ellie's boat schooling later in the morning. She likes to start by reading in bed when she wakes up, and we usually finish by early afternoon. Then it's usually lunch in the cockpit, followed by some kind of exercise for PE in the afternoon. After another trip to the Marina bathroom, it's time for the sunset. One of our favorite treats is using our pasta maker for supper. If we want to use an appliance like this, we turn on a switch so we can turn our DC battery power into AC outlet power. But we have to convert the power in the outlet from 220 volt to the 110 volt appliance, so we plug the appliance into a converter. It's a lot of work, but definitely worth it. When's the last time you had fresh pasta? After supper, we usually watch a TV show or a movie, and then it's time for bed. Today's a big day. We have to replace the radar on the boat, and today it's being installed. Our new radar has a 48-mile radius. We chose the 48 over the 36-mile radius because the extra 12 miles can be significant when we're facing a weather situation. We have a screen for the radar in the cockpit as well as a screen at the nav station down below. The installers had to run the wires for the radar down the mast, and as they tried to get the wires through, they came across a ton of debris inside the mast. It was filled with what looked like dirt and sticks. Likely birds tried to make nests down inside the mast, and it piled up over the years. So somehow digging the rest out will be added to our boat task list. Hey, today is kind of cloudy and overcast, so I thought it'd be a good idea, a good day to give a tour of our boat. So I'm pretty excited. Today my mom is coming with her friend Carl, so they're gonna spend a little bit of time in Charleston with us and enjoy the marina, and I can show them our boat. And they should be arriving any second. Here they are.
Tell you, there's not much better.
Oh, right. So, shall we, what did you say, toast?
Here's to the rogue
Oh my
fun.
goodness, look at the color coordination.
Rogue fun. Oh, let me see. You all do look fabulous. And then my shirt is not.
Not quite,
Right.
but we're close.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it's
cheers.
So,
We had a great evening with my mom and Carl, filled with great food and conversation. Our very first guests aboard. The next morning was a very important one. It was the official naming and maiden voyage of Rogue Fun. Mike designed our own Rogue Fun logo, and we had that put on the transom. After the installation was complete, we cast off the lines and took our first official voyage as Rogue Fun. We're starting to get a feel for the boat, but we still have a lot to learn. And of course, Mike had to do a donut in the middle of the creek to show how tightly she turns. It's so peaceful out on the water, and the South Carolina creeks, inlets, and marshes are so beautiful. On the way back, Ellie sat up on the bow, keeping her eyes peeled for dolphins. She finally got to spot a few, although they were still a good distance away.
Well, another voyage under your belt.
Yeah.
What time did we leave? What time did we get?
Oh, we have to write that in the ship's log.
Yeah.
It's 2:35.
So that you actually went below this.
Yeah,
Below this, we went down somewhere.
yeah, we got to about right here.
Okay.
We started about there where this little creek. So those marshes.
Okay.
And where was it that we saw the dolphin?
We're right here.
Yeah,
So that's that orange marker. So yeah, it'd be that corner right there.
Yeah.
when we saw the dolphins.
Yep. And we made it up to about here before we turned around. So it
Yeah,
wouldn't have been
you're
too much
exactly
farther.
right. We just looked at the Life 360. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Wouldn't have been too much farther. We would have.
Well, thanks for bringing champagne.
Well, it's an occasion.
Yeah. Let the celebration.
There we are.
To the sailors?
To the first of many successful voyages.
Yes, yes.
I hope
The
so.
road fun.
That it will be. That it will be.
Since Carl is a local and grew up in the Charleston area, he suggested that we head to Bowen's Island restaurant for dinner. The road on the way in was a little questionable, but the restaurant itself was packed. In their own words, Bowen's Island restaurant is an island, a restaurant, and a state of mind. This was Ellie's first experience with oysters.
Just kind of swallow it. Nope. Think like it's a pill.
I think that's sand. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah, swallow it. It's like sand or something. I can't swallow it. I have to watch it down.
And of course, we got to enjoy another fabulous low country sunset. One of the final things off our checklist was to sell the van. We kept it right up until the end to run last-minute errands before we left the marina and started making our way south. Well, tonight is the last night with the van. I don't know if you can see, but I provisioned with groceries. And the van we're selling in the morning. So, goodbye van. You've been good to us.
We're going to sell the van. It's our last possession that's not on the boat and not in storage.
So now we're gonna have to walk to get groceries and everything, and oh,
So that means I can keep my shorts that are a little too small. So we're gonna be walking everywhere.
yeah, all right. This for some reason seems more real than when we sold the house, because it's like the last thing. Good morning.
There goes our wonderful van.
Holy cow. All we own now is our boat and what's on it. Now I'm on my way to do my first official sailing person duty. I'm on my way to the grocery store, but we don't have a car. But I do have this nice little cart that we found on board.
This is so heavy. And I'm so hot.
Last provisioning.
Oh, seriously, my elbows are going to turn inside out. Yeah, it's first of all hot, and I should not have worn jeans. It's very sunny. Hello.
and it was really hard to pull. You should pull it down the deck. We'll be getting lots more steps now. Here we go. Join us next time as we head down the Intracoastal Waterway. Hold our breath as we cross under bridges. Put our navigational skills to the test. See what it's like to live offshore. Allie, hurry up, they're coming! And head out in our dinghy for the very first time.